Yeah, hi guys, good morning. So, as of now, what we did, so we completed our administration training. Am I right? So, we completed our administration. Next, so next step is what? Development. So, what is this development? What is this development? So, what we done in administration, we created one application. Inside that application, we created some objects. Then we created some fields. Got it? Then after, so we applied some logics. So we see some automation tools like workflows, approval process, reports and dashboards, and we organized our company also. So creating the users, creating the profile, roles, security controls, this thing. So except formulas and validation rules. So anywhere we written code? No. So in the formulas and the validation rules also, we written expression, not code. We written expression, not code. Got it. So now let's see here. We have one company. We have one company. ABC company is there. ABC company is there. Got it. So is ABC company implementing one application that is employee management or else employee details? This ABC company wants to manage employee details. Got it. So all of you guys, please mute yourself. Okay. So this company wants to implement this employee details application. In every application, what are the layers we have? What are the application layers we have in any application? Basically, we have three layers. The first one is what? A database layer. A database layer. Second one is what? A front end. Front end. Third one is what? Back end. Back end. In the front end, so we called as a UI layer, user interface layer. In the back end, we called as what? Business logic. A business logic layer. So every application, so whatever the application you are creating, for every application, you have to follow these three things. Now let's see. So first what I'm doing, I'm creating database layer. I'm creating database layer. So this is my database. This is my database. So inside the database, what I'm doing, I'm creating some records. This is a database layer. In this database layer, what I'm doing, I'm creating record. How? How to create the record? As a developer, I'm writing code. As a developer, I'm writing code. Got it. So, but so we have some end users. We have some end users. End users will know how to write the code. No. So in this database, what I am doing, I am preparing one table. See here, like so what's the ID of the employee, name of the employee, and salary. Salary of the employee. I have three fields. I have three fields in this database. So basically, we can prepare this database in terms of code. In terms of code. See here, I prepared one record as a developer. Shiva, the name is Shiva, salary is 30K, and What's the ID? That is 123. That is 123. Got a point? So we have an end user. We have one end user. So end user don't know how to create this data table. End user don't know how to create the data table. So that's the reason what we are doing. So we are providing the UI, user interface. We are providing what? User interface. In this user interface, what we are providing? That is the ID of the employee. Next, the name of the employee. Next, salary. Salary of the employee. Got it? So I'm giving one UI to the end user. So here the end user providing the information, end user entering the information in this box. And then after, here we have one button that is save. Here we have one button that is save. So when we enter the information in this fields, so when we click on save button, so what we are doing? So directly we are creating a record in the database. Am I right? Directly we are creating a record into the database. For example, let's see. Here the ID I provided 123 and the name here I am providing Ram and the salary here providing 10k. Sorry, 40k. You got a point? See here, we already have this ID into my database. We already have this ID into the database. Right? So system creating one more record with the name of 123 and RAM 40k. Got a point? So means what? So my UI layer don't have that much of intelligence to cross check with my database. So whether we already have these records inside my database or not. We already have this data into my database or not. So that's the reason what we are doing. So between this data layer and UI layer, between this database layer and UI layer, I am providing one logic. This is called the what? Logic layer. This is called the what? Logic layer. You got a point? So whatever the information here you provided, that information will be goes to my logic layer. So here we are writing the logic. So what was that logic? So whatever the ID, name and salary we have, so you are cross-checking with your database. You are cross-checking with your database. So what was the fields you need to cross-check with the database? Either ID, name or salary. That is ID. Because ID gives the uniqueness. ID gives the uniqueness. So name, yes, we have multiple names. We have Shiva, and the salary also the same salary for multiple users. Got it? So what type of logic here we are writing? So whatever the ID here enter the user, got it? So we have to cross check with my database. Have to cross check with my database. Then, so if you don't have any ID, then after, so that record will be goes to my database and it will be saved. And if you have same ID inside my database, what happened? Then this logic layer gives an error. This logic layer gives an error. Boss, we already have this ID into the database. Then what you have to do? You need to change the ID. You have to provide another ID. Got a point? So this one is what? Logic layer. A logic layer. See here. So did you observe? So what is this database? What is this database? So we can consider as objects. We can consider as objects. Inside the object, we are having what? Records. Records. Inside the object, we have a records. Records also having the same format, right? Next, the UI layer. So what is this? Page layout. Am I right? A UI layer, page layout. So in this page layout, we're having different fields: first name, last name, email ID, phone number. Am I right? That fields. And then after we have a button also. We have button also. Then come to the logic layer. Then come to the logic layer. So what was the logic? So whenever we enter the information, got it? I want to execute some actions. We'll go for a workflow rules. Workflow rules. So whenever user enter this one, I need to submit to the other user. Then we could go for approval process. Got it. So next, the salary should be less than 70K for every record. Then what we have to do? So we need to prepare one a validation rule. Validation rule. So these all are comes under logic. These all are comes under a logic. So we see as of now this thing in the admin. Am I right? As of now we see same thing in the administration. But the point is, so here in this page layout, how many columns we have? Every page layout having 2 columns. Every page layout having 2 columns. But I want 3 columns. Is it possible in the page layout? No. I want 3 columns. Is it possible in the page layout? No. Got it. By default, left side we have one quick access menu is there. Shortcut. I want to remove that. Is it possible? No, not possible. You got a point, right? So next, logic. So inside the workflows, what we are doing? We're executing 4 actions. We're executing how many actions? 4 actions. We are sending the email, updating the field. Next, assigning the task, outbound message. We have some criteria also. What was the criteria? Whenever the record created, I want to execute the action. Whenever the record was created, edited, I want to execute the action. So whenever we are meeting the criteria, I want to execute the action. Now, let's go for the second one. Let's go for the second model. What's the second one? Whenever we created a record and whenever we updated the record, I want to send a email. I want to send a email. Got it. See here, whenever created the record and created and edit the record, I want to send the email. I want to send the email. But here what we are doing, we are selecting only one email template. We are selecting only one email template. So whenever we created the record, we are sending that email template. Whenever we created and edited the record, we are sending the same template. Got it. So whenever we created the record, I want to send some welcome note. So whenever we updated, we need to send a updated email. Updated email. So these type of things we cannot perform in the administration. In the administration, the complex business logics, the complex business what are the complex business logics we have? We cannot create that complex business logics in the administration. So that's the reason. So we are discussing development. That's the reason we are discussing development. You got a point? Now, see here, UI layer, logic layer, database layer. UI layer, logic layer, database layer. So this is administration. The same thing we can implement in our development also. Same thing we can implement in our development. Am I right? Now, let's see. So here we have object. So what was the object you created in our administration? All the objects are supported for development, right? Inside the development, so no need to create another object for the functionality. So we created what? Students object, exams object, department object. Am I right? So we can fetch these objects into the development. Then we can do some more operations over there. We're extending the functionality. Development is nothing but what? So we are extending the functionality. So means we are not creating this a database inside my development. We are not creating this database inside my development. Then what we are creating? The UI layer. So UI layer is nothing but what? So this is called what? A visual force programming. Visual force programming. Logic layer. Logic layer is nothing but what? So this is Apex programming. Apex programming. Got it? So in the first session of our administration, so we discussed what? What is admin? Got it? So what is admin? What is Salesforce? Got it? So there we discussed three things. There we discussed three things. What are the services provided by the Salesforce? What are the services provided by the Salesforce? The first one, software as a service. Second one, platform as a service. Third one, infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. Under the platform as a service, so we have two things. So what are they? The first one is what? Administration. Second one is development. Second one is development. What are the administrator roles and responsibility? As a system administrator, I can create the logics without writing the code. Without writing the code. As a administrator, I can organize my company. So these are two roles. We already seen the same thing in our administration. Then coming to the development. Coming to the development. As a developer, so here we are writing the code. As a developer, here we are writing the code. Everything. Got it? So here we are not creating the fields and objects. Got it? So there is no automation tools. If you want to create the field also, we can write the code. If you want to create the logic also, we need to write the code. So what are the two programming languages we are going to learn in this development? So first one is what? Apex programming. Apex programming. Apex is nothing but what? Advanced programming experience. Advanced programming experience. Got it? So this Apex programming will be available only in Salesforce. Got it? So if you have 10 years of experience in Java, and obviously you have to learn this Apex from the scratch. Right? Because so here the syntaxes and everything will be different. Done. The second programming language is what? The second programming language. So Visual Force. Visual Force programming. Visual Force programming. So this is what? Apex programming. This is for the what? Logics. We are implementing the logic. And this is for the what? We are implementing a user interface. UI. Got it? So we are learning these two programming languages. So don't get panic. Okay, so Shiva, I don't have any knowledge about the coding. Don't worry. Okay, I will teach you from the scratch how to write the program. So first session onwards, tomorrow onwards. Got it? So you have to follow my instructions. I'm going to teach you from the basics. Everything will be in the format of a spoon feeding. Got it? So logic and UI. Logic and a UI. See here, the same thing what we implemented in our administration. So we are going for extend. Got it? So what are the things we are going to learn in this Apex programming? So what is this Apex programming? What is this Apex programming? See, if you want to write the code in Java platform, so how you are writing? So you need to install that software into your device. So then only you can write. Then only you can. Unless until we cannot write the. But coming to the Apex programming, no need to install anything inside my device. No need to install anything inside my device. Means what? Apex programming, Apex programming language is the world's first, a world first cloud-based programming language. Got it? The world first cloud-based a programming language. No need to install anything. So directly with the help of browser only we can write. Got it? So we have already Salesforce org. We already have a Salesforce org. So then where we can write these programs? Where we can write these programs? Go here, your name. Here we have your name now. Go here, your name. Here we have a developer console option is there. We have a developer console option is there. Click on the developer console. Click on that developer console. See, here we are writing the programs. Here we are writing the programs inside the developer console. So you can write the programs, whatever the program you want. See here, Apex classes, triggers, Visual Force page, Visual Force component, static resource, the Lightning application component interface, event and token. With the help of developer console, we can write the programs. We can write the programs. So Apex programming language is world first cloud-based programming language. World first cloud-based programming language. So we are not installing anything into my device. So directly you can write the program. Got it? So world first cloud-based programming language, and it's a object oriented programming language. So what is this object oriented programming language? We'll see. We have a dedicated session is there. So why? Because as a developer, so we are writing the programs in the different models. Got it? So in this object oriented programming, so everything we are preparing in terms of objects and classes and methods. Got it? So Java is also like a object oriented programming language. So inside the Salesforce, we are using Java basics. Inside the Salesforce, we are using what? Java basics. Got it? So that's why this Apex also object-oriented a programming language. Done. Next one. See here, so what was the logics we are implementing? So why we are writing the program? To implement the logics. Got it? So to implement the logics, so we are writing the programs. Am I right? True. I got it. So here, each business logic logic should be implemented in terms of what? Should be implemented in terms of classes and objects. Am I right? So we are using what? Object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming language. In the object-oriented programming language, everything, whatever the logics we have, every logic will be implemented in the classes and the objects. Got it? So that's why, so whatever the business logic you are writing, that should be in terms of classes and objects. So what we are doing this Apex programming language. What we are doing in this Apex programming language. Got it? So we can implement complex business logics. Am I right? Complex business logics. So whatever the logics we cannot perform in the administration, got it? So we are implementing those logics in development. Those logics in development. Next one is what? A complex validation rules, complex validation rules. So there we are using some expressions. Sometimes those expressions also not supported to meet your client requirement. In that situation, what we have to do? We need to write the program. Next, and complex transactional flows. Complex transactional flows. So after completion of this process, I want to go for another. I want to go for another. So like that. So we have some automation flow system. So if you want to execute one by one, so we need to prepare the code. We need to prepare the code. Got a point, right? So next, so whatever the Apex programming here we are writing, this Apex program is tightly coupled with your Salesforce objects. Tightly coupled with a Salesforce objects. Got it? Apex program is tightly integrated with what's that? A Salesforce objects. So whatever the Salesforce objects we have, so those objects also available here in this Apex program. So no need to create a separate objects here. No need to create separate objects here. So with the help of this Apex programming language, so we can do all DML operations. We can do all DML operations. DML operations is nothing but what? Data manipulation language. Got it. So where we seen this DML in our administration? In the data loader. We inserted the records, we updated the records, we deleted the records, we restored the record with the help of a data loader. Got it. So here also we can do all the DML. Means as a developer, I don't have access on data loader. I don't have access on dataloader.io. I don't have access on Workbench. Got it. I don't have access on import wizard and export wizard. Then whenever I log into Salesforce, only the developer console will be available to me. Then I want to create a record into the account object. How? We can write the program. We can write the program. And if you want to find out any record, so how you are find outing? So just you can go here in the search box and type Shiva. See here. So whenever you enter the keyboard, so based on that keyboard, a system provides that information. System provides that information. For example, I don't have access on this search also. I don't have access on this search also. Or else I want to do the bulk operations on some records. I want to do bulk operations on some records. I want to fetch all the data. I want to fetch all the data from accounts object. I want to fetch all the data account object. So whenever we are fetching the data, so that time we can apply some conditions. I don't want all the data, right? So what are the records industry equals to banking? So what are the accounts in the active condition? What are the students having department as a banking or agriculture? Like that. So we are filterizing the data. Filterizing the data. So if you want to get that type of information, obviously we need to write the code. So what type of code? The Salesforce will allow us to retrieve the records from Salesforce object. Got it? Right? By using Apex programming, so we can retrieve the information. We can retrieve the records from Salesforce objects. Salesforce objects. with the help of what? With the help of SOQL queries. With the help of SOQL queries. SOQL nothing but what? Salesforce Object Query Language. Salesforce Object Query Language. Got it? So not only retrieving the data, I want to search whether this particular information is available inside my database or not. How can I search? So we have to use a SOSL query. SOSL query. Salesforce Object Search Language. Salesforce Object Search Language. By using Apex programming, we can search. We can search the content. We can search the content inside the Salesforce object. Salesforce object with the help of SOSL queries. Query is nothing but what? So whenever we return the query, based on that query, system gives the output. System gives the output. So these queries, the part of SQL. So you know SQL programming language, structured programming language, structured query language. Got it. So here we are not using SQL directly. Got it. So Salesforce given two types of queries, that is SOQL and SOSL. Got it. So with the help of this Apex programming, what we can do? So we can build the custom code, the custom business logic. Custom is nothing but what? So we see in how to create the custom object, custom fields. So based on your requirement, so you created some fields and objects and all those, right? The same way. So based on my requirement, I have to create some logic. Then go ahead and use this Apex programming. Apex programming. Got it. So what we are learning in this Apex program? I already told you, I will teach you from the scratch, from the basics. I will teach you from the basics. Got it. So we are discussing OOPS concept. We are discussing OOPS concept. And then after, so how to prepare a class, how to prepare a object, how to prepare the methods, methods. Got it. So what are the DML operations we have? So how to create a record through the programmatically, how to update the record, how to delete the record, how to undelete the record programmatically. Got a point? And then after, so we'll see the data types. We'll see the data type. Data type is nothing but what? If you want to hold the data, we have to use the data types. Now administration also we seen some data types. Administration also we seen some data types. Text, number, tick list, like that. Yes, we can create the data types the help of programming. Got it. And the next one is what? SOQL, SOSL. Salesforce Object Query Language, Salesforce Object Fetch Language. How can I fetch the information from a database? Got it. And then after collections, we have a list, set, and map collections. We'll see that a list, set, and map collection. Then after we are jumping into the major programming part. So that is called the what? Triggers. That is called the what? A trigger. If you want to implement any business logic, we are writing trigger. If you want to write the trigger, we need this basics. We'll see first basics, and then after we'll go for a trigger. Triggers is nothing but what? So this is the heart of Apex programming. This is what heart of Apex programming. So whenever you got a requirement, whenever you got a storyline, so what you have to do? So first of all, you need to think logically. You need to think logically, and then after you need to write the program. So where you are writing the program, developer console in terms of a trigger, in terms of trigger. Next, so what is a schedule Apex and what is batch Apex? So what is queuable Apex? Right. So we'll see that information also as part of this Apex programming. Got a point? So we've seen some JavaScript functionalities and Ajax functionality. So whatever the things will be required to do the business logic, so we'll go ahead with that module. Got it. So once we completed this Apex programming, and then after we are jumping into the Visual Force programming. So Visual Force programming is nothing but what? This is a UI. So here we are using HTML and a CS. I'm not teaching HTML and CSS, but I will guide you how to learn this HTML and CSS. Got it. So not only HTML, CSS, inside this Visual Force pages, we have some Visual Force components also. With the help of this Visual Force components, HTML, CSS, we are implementing the UI. We are implementing the UI. So this is a tag-based programming language. Visual Force is the tag-based programming language. So we need to write a starting tag, ending tag. Then we can implement the UI. Got it. So along with this training, so you will get the project also. Along with this training, you will get one a project. Got it. So we already completed administration. Then we are completing development. So with the help of both admin and development, so we can implement one project. I will guide you so how to implement the project and everything. And then after deployment process. So here, this is my org, Shiva sir. This is Rakesh org. So here I implemented one application. Got it. So I want to deploy to the Rakesh org. I don't want to create everything slash from the Rakesh. So whatever the code, whatever the logics, whatever the objects and everything you implemented, I want to deploy into the another org. We'll see that deployment also. We'll see that deployment also. Got it. The deployment process is very important for developers. In the real time, what you have to do? You have to take the backup copy of your code. How? Help of deployment. Got a point? And so next one is what? After completion of our development training, I will provide the interview questions and live and real-time scenario examples to you. In the questions format, you have to prepare the answers for that. Got it. So every day you will get the recorded video. So whenever you have a doubt, just you can ask me. I will guide you. See, in this development, what we have to do. So as a non-technical person, I don't know anything about code. So whatever the inputs I am giving to you, simply just have to follow that instructions for. Just you have to send minimum 1 hour time for practicing. Every day I am giving some assignments to you in the development. Got it. Every day I am giving some assignments to you in the development. So assignment in the sense what? For example, tomorrow we are going to start HTML. Right? I will guide you what is HTML and some basics. But related to HTML, I will send one a document to you. Just you have to read that document. Means you need to get some minimum basics there. You need to get some minimum basics. Got it. So how much time you are spending here, so that much of knowledge you are getting. And once again, I'm telling, so don't get any panic, right? So development is nothing but what Shiva, we cannot understand, we cannot write these programs and all that. So don't worry. So just to have to observe from the scratch, learn the development from the scratch. Got it? So now, anyone having any doubts on this? Just you can ask me, I will guide you. Yeah, unmute yourself, just you can ask me. So the chat box. Okay, so if anyone having a dot, just you can type in chat box also. No doubts. Yeah, it will be minimum 30 to 35 hours. Got it. So 30 to 35 hours. The development course will be 30 to 35 hours. So every day we have a minimum 1 hour session, 1 hour to 1.5 hour development. But minimum is 1 hour. Manasa, Praveen, Rakesh, Shichendra, Adinarayana.
Yes, sir.
Till now, good, sir. So you will cover that SQL and social languages also, right, sir, with database connectivity and all?
Yes, SOQL and SOSL, these are the mandatory and very, very important.
Okay.
Got it. So not only in our development, so if you go for the Lightning also, okay, the programming part is different, but so fetching the database, how? With the help of queries only. So this SOQ and SOSL only will spend a minimum 5 hours for SOQ and SOSL. Okay, so Chalo, thanks for attending. So we'll meet in the next session. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts related to this development, so please note it. Got it. The next session we'll discuss. So thank you. Have a nice day.